Hey y'all, today we are reviewing Viola Davis's book, Finding Me. I used to work for Fidelity Investments and they had a segment called Women Talk Money. I enjoyed watching that segment and Viola was on an episode of that, and I was so enthralled by everything that she shared that I just bought her book soon after. I acquired it on Audible. I read it last year in 2024 and I took plenty of notes. I wrote down what she said word for word, the things that stood out to me, the things that resonated with me, and I'm going to be sharing 5 of those things with y'all today. First, let's mention something she shared in chapter 2. Her family was living in extreme poverty. She said, quote, "We were afraid to clean for fear that rats would be lurking under the rubbish." She and her siblings did not want to clean their home due to a mice infestation. But later, they would enter and win a competition by acting out a Fred Sanford skit. She said that they won a red bat with a ball as well as McDonald's gift cards. They used that red bat to kill mice. And I love this for them because of what the killing of the mice with the bat symbolizes. Rats for many are shameful to have in their homes, so they symbolize shame. They also symbolize secrets, poverty, neglect, even silence, since silence is prompted by secrets. It's just a result of having secrets. Many households say what happens in this house stays in this house. That's silence. Viola's bat was red, and red symbolizes warfare because it reminds us of blood, of anger, and of being fed up. It reminds us of having had enough. That bat was their weapon in destroying the very creatures that had struck fear and disgust into them. That bat as a weapon symbolizes agency. It symbolizes having a shot and taking your shots. And how did they win that bat? By acting. I'm going to share with you guys what I wrote right here. I find that winning the bat and destroying the rats with it to be prophetic because through winning and her acting, Viola was able to shake up her whole world in a good way. Bye-bye fear, bye-bye shame, bye-bye silence. So long, bye-bye. Okay, number 2, her nieces and nephews. I enjoyed in chapter 15 when she hurried to see her family to inform them that she had won a Tony Award or that she had been nominated for one. She said that in high school, she watched the Tonys every year with great enthusiasm. Her family was super excited for her, including her nieces and nephews. She said that they said, "Yay, Auntie." And this touched me. And I wrote, "There's no mourning, no grief in simply being Auntie." Because I went through a time of just wanting to get married and have my own babies. I told myself one day, I'm just so tired of being Auntie. I want to be somebody's mom. And I know that that will come when the time is right, but there's also beauty in being Auntie. There's beauty in being an aunt. I do enjoy it, and their love for me and interest in me has allowed for me so much healing. And they're really precious when they aren't fighting. And being Auntie and not having any kids of my own has just really allowed me to spread my love and resources around. And I'm reminded of the scripture, Isaiah 54:1, that says, "The woman who hasn't born children now has more children than the woman who has." I love them like they're my own babies. And although kids are a ton of work and can make you worry more, they are a beautiful thing. They're a wonderful thing. So her sharing about her nieces and nephews being excited for her touched me because, you know, nieces and nephews, they really are wonderful cheerleaders, even as we cheer for them. My nieces and nephews think that I'm the best thing since sliced bread, and I don't even do anything. Okay, number 3, her romantic life. In chapter 16, she talks about her relationship with the man she ended up marrying, Julius. Julius has always been good to her. She described him as being fiercely protective of her. Viola said, "I had been taught how to love and fight. I had not been taught how to love and be still." This statement so reminds me of unhealthy dating relationships, specifically for Black women. All ethnicities can go through troublesome relationships, but I'm speaking from my experience as a Black woman. We are not taught to be soft. We are required to be strong, and we're expected to wear with pride that description. But we want to just be. just like any other ethnicity. We want to receive, we want to be loved, we don't want nor need the struggle of. We are often made to feel like we have to stay around for years in bad relationships or bad marriages just to prove that we are good, loyal, faithful women. And y'all, I wrote a poem based on the fact that the upbringing of some women does not allow for softness. It's called He Wants the Nurtured Girl, and it's based on my experience being interested in someone who was interested in a girl who was not rough around the edges at all, in my opinion. Of course, I didn't know this woman, but it seemed to me that she had just been privileged to be soft her entire life. But this poem isn't just for Black women, it's for all women. I'll link it here and at the end of this video, but let's focus on the book review. Let's look at this quote from Viola. It says, "When I got on my knees and prayed for Julius, I wasn't just praying for a man. I was praying for a life that I was not taught to live, but for something that I had to learn." Julius taught Viola a ton of what she needed to be her best self, live her best life, go higher in life. Based on what I read in chapter 16, I am describing him as good shelter. He was good for her. He was good shelter for her entire being. My final thoughts here, guys, are that taking steps towards softness involves doing hard work and healing from trauma. After doing enough work, you won't be okay being with someone who simply shows up with potential, but your requirement, your standard will be that he shows up healed, because we deserve nothing less. Number 4, her parents were able to do parenting again by parenting their grandchildren. Viola talks about how she and her siblings didn't have the best childhood. They lived in extreme poverty, and her father was abusive to his family. However, for many families, things do change. Her parents were basically able to do parenting again by raising their grandbabies. And they were wonderful, loving, kind, caring, and capable caretakers. I've seen this in my own family. There are a number of reasons why parents may miss the mark with their own children and do better when raising their grandkids. That's a story. That's a video, actually, for another day. But if done with care, and though it may take time, seeing that turnaround in the parent may be healing for the child who didn't receive that growing up. There's a lot to dive into regarding that, and I'm gonna be so happy to speak about that at another time. So y'all look forward to that video. But guys, as time passed and as healing, inner healing did its thing, Viola stopped seeing her father as violent, and she started seeing him as the man that her nieces and nephews saw. She said, "Daddy turned from our terror to our hero," which is a beautiful way to sum up God's redemptive power in her father and in her family. And for those still mourning their childhoods and struggling with moving forward, I'm going to share this quote from her book. "Forgiveness is giving up all hope of a different past." That statement alone is worth reflecting on. Number 5, the fibroids. She had 9 large fibroids, and I think she mentioned she will also have painful menstrual cycles. She said that her fibroids were so bad she looked 6 months pregnant. She had them removed and stated that she had a few years remaining before she'd be rendered infertile. So many women struggle with a choice like this because they feel that their worth as women is tied to their ability to conceive and to carry a child to term. Even when we're looking, at the Bible, culture tied a woman's worth to her ability to have children. This section stood out to me because whether she decided to have the surgery or decided against it, I'm glad she chose what she felt was best for her. And soon after this, she adopted her daughter, Genesis. I'm gonna wrap up this lovely review by sharing what she said about joy. When it came to the pursuit of joy, Viola stated that she didn't care if the things she wanted were hard or sacrificial to obtain. She had done hard things before and could do them again. She stated, "I had mastered hard. Now I wanted joy. That joy was worth more than the sacrifice." And the context behind these statements are when she was adopting her baby. But I'll always remember those statements when she said, "I had mastered hard, now I wanted joy. That joy was worth more than the sacrifice." In finding me, Viola helped me to find parts of myself and hidden truths that I didn't know I needed. And I thank you, Viola, for writing this memoir, for sharing it. Thank you for being honest in it. Well, I hope that everyone gives this book a read because it is worth the read. There's something in there for everyone, whether you're a man or a woman. Love you guys. God bless. Drop a comment, and I'll speak with y'all soon.